What's up, guys? And we are back. Today we are going to break down UFC Fight Night Shogun versus Anthony Smith. Let's get to it, Maxwell. The first fight on the card, we got Damian Stasiak versus Lou Pinjam. Break it down, Maxwell.
Alright, Damian Stasiak's going into Sunday's contest with a record of 10 wins and 5 losses. His last fight was a loss to Brian Keller due to via TKOs due to punches in round 3. His UFC record is 2-3. He fights out of United Gym. Stasiak has really good kicks and great BJJ. 10 of his 7 wins are via decision. He's taken on Pinyon Liu, whose record is 10-5 also. His last fight was against Yuji Ohashi, via TKO in round 1. He's making his UFC debut. Didn't find much about Pinyon. He was hard to find, so I'm going to pick Stasiak via decision.
Alright, cool. I'm going to go Lou Pinjam via decision. I'm going to pick the opposite there. Alright, next up on the card, we've got Jeremy Kimball versus Darko Stozic.
Alright, you got Jeremy Kimball, who is entering Sunday with a record of 15 wins and 7 losses. His last fight was against Dominic Reyes, which he lost via submission due to rear naked choke in the first round. His UFC record is 1 win and 2 losses. He's a performance of a night winner against Josh Stansberry. He fights out of Team Wadman, Valetito. 11 of his 15 wins are via KO. Jeremy is a very good striker with great speed. He's taken on Darko Stusko. His record of Sunday is 12 wins and 1 loss. His last fight was against Tomasz Chezowinski, and it was a win via TKO, also due to punches in round 1. Darko is making his UFC debut. He's fighting out of MMA Red Star, and 7 of his 12 wins are via KO. And I'm going to pick Jeremy Kimball, second round KO.
Alright, nice pick. Riley, the fights are this Sunday. Okay, this one here, that's here for Kimball. He lands per minute 3.49 strikes per minute. In light heavyweight, that's pretty significant there. And his accuracy is coming in at 54.1%. But here's the thing, though. He absorbs 4.3 punches per minute, and his defense is staggering at 50% here. He does have a takedown average of 2 out of every fight, but his accuracy is only at 25%. These are kind of some shady numbers here. Don't really know much about Darko. I see that he's from Serbia, which I don't really see that many fighters from there. But I'm going to pick the dark horse on this one also. I'm going to pick Darko Stoziak. I'm going to pick him by TKO in the first round. Alright, moving on to the next card. We got Davy Grant versus Manny Bermudez. This is an interesting fight to me.
I thought it was a good, interesting fight too. Davy Grant's record entering Sunday's 10 wins and 3 losses. His last fight was a loss to Damian Stasiak via submission due to armbar in round 3. Davy's UFC record is 1 win and 2 losses. He fights out of Northeast Top Team / SBG Manchester. 8 out of his 10 wins are via submission. Davy has got good Thai boxing with excellent submissions. He's taking on Manny Bermudez, who's coming in Sunday with a record of 12 wins and no losses. His last fight was a win against Albert Morales via submission due to guillotine choke in round 2. Bermudez is 1-0 in the UFC, and I thought his nickname was pretty cool. It is the Bermudez Triangle. He fights out of South Shore Sports Fighting. 8 out of his 11 wins are via submission. He's very good with jiu-jitsu skills. And I had to pick Manny because he's got a lot of sub wins, and I think he's going to slip up and get Davey in this one.
I'm also going with Manny on this one. I think the other guy's kind of lackluster. He doesn't. It doesn't seem like Manny throws too many punches though. He goes for the takedown, and I really just don't see the knockout power from Davy Grant to finish this one. Plus, this guy's he's undefeated as a professional fighter, so that's something that you don't want to frown on. So I'm gonna pick Manny Bermudez via first round submission. And Riley, it is this Sunday. The fights are this Sunday. I don't know if you heard me the first time I said that. On to the next fight. We got the undefeated Justin Ledet versus Alexander Rakic.
Alright, Justin Ledet entering Sunday with a record of 9 wins, no losses. His last fight was a win against Za Anawa via split decision. His UFC record is 3-0. Justin is known as Justin LeBlanco Ledet. 5 out of his 9 wins are via sub. Ledet's got good jiu-jitsu to go along with his great boxing skills. He's taking on Alexander Radet, whose record Sunday is 8 wins and 1 loss. His last fight was a win against Hermisio Barbosa via unanimous decision. Alexander is undefeated in the UFC with 1 win. He fights out of Gym 23. Alexander's a good striker with great grappling and really good cardio. 7 out of his 9 wins are via TKO. And I went with Justin Ledet via decision.
That's a nice pick. I see where you're coming from on that one, but on this one, I think Ledet has been fighting really close fights lately. I'm gonna go with Alexander in the second get caught this fight, and that's gonna. I mean, that might change his career for him, make him even better fighter later in the future. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Alexander via round 2 KO. All right, the next fight we have on the card is Khalid Taha versus Nad Naramini.
Nad Naramini is coming in Sunday with a record of 10 wins and 2 losses. His last fight was a win against Paddy Pimblett of unanimous decision out of Cage Warriors. Nad is making his debut. He fights out of Ironman MMA. He has good boxing skills to go along with his great grappling and an excellent wrestler. Khalid Taha is entering Sunday with a record of 12 wins and 1 loss. His last fight was a loss against Takafori Osaka via submission due to guillotine choke in round 3, and this took place in Rising. Khalil is making his debut. He fights at a Arena Domad. Khalil is very explosive and has great knockout power in both hands and an iron will. Khalil is 7 out of his 12 wins are via KO. I think Khalil's a better man than this. He fights out of Rising, and that's pretty good, but that's where a lot of the fighters go once their career's done in the UFC. But I think Khalil's gonna get the win. Yeah, and I believe Khalil's gonna get the win via round 1 KO.
That's a good pick. I'm gonna take Khalid via decision. I think he's gonna pound him out on the ground. All right, next fight on the card. Very exciting fighter to me. I like Emil Meek, and he is fighting Bartosz Fabinski.
Emil Meek's coming in Sunday with 9 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. His last fight was a loss to Kamar Usman via unanimous decision. Emil's UFC record is 1 win, 1 loss. He fights out of MMA Trondheim and Fort Line Academy. Emil has good striking and a lot of power in both hands. Sorry guys, 7 out of 9 wins are via KO. He's taking on Bartosz Fabinski. His record is 13 wins and 12 losses on Sunday. His last fight was a win against Hector Urbane via unanimous decision. Bartosz's UFC record is 2 wins, 2-0. He fights out of Burkott WCA fight team. He loves to throw with anyone. He has very vicious elbows and is physically powerful. 8 of his 13 wins are via KO, and I think Emil's going to get murked in this one. I think Martas is going to win via KO in the second round.
Wow. That's not surprising though, because Emil has a little bit of trouble with some of these grapplers that are coming into the UFC. Which, I mean, Kamaru Usman is at the top of the food chain there. But as far as him getting knocked out, I don't see it. But nothing really surprises me in the UFC anymore, especially after that DC knocked out Stipe and crazy stuff. I'm gonna go opposite of you. I really like Emil Meek, and I'm gonna go with him via KO in the third round. All right, next up on the
All right.
card, I'm a little confused here. I know Alan Jouban is fighting. He was supposed to fight Danny Roberts, but according to this card,
So
it's David Zawada. But I'm not
I got the
100%
next
sure.
fight. I got the next fight as Nick Ken versus Damar Hadavosky.
Yeah,
Hadvik.
but did Jouban, did he replace David
Yes, Joban
Zawada?
has been replaced by David Zawada.
Are you sure that he got replaced, or Jouban
Yes,
replaced that guy?
Jouban's off the card.
Okay.
He received an injury, and
Okay.
David Zawada is replacing him.
All right. So next up on the card, sorry about that confusion. We got Nick Khan versus Damir Hadzovic.
Yeah. Nick Khan's record coming into Sunday's 14 wins and 3 losses. His last fight was a loss to Davey Ramos via submission due to rear naked choke in round 1. Nick's UFC record's 4 wins, 2 losses. He fights out of Tiger Muay Thai. He has world class judo, and he's very explosive. 9 of his 14 wins are via decision. He's facing Damar Hadzovic, whose record's 11 wins and 4 losses coming into Sunday. His last fight was a loss to Alan Patrick via unanimous decision. His UFC record is 1 win, 2 losses. He is a one-time performance of the night winner against Marcin Held. He fights at RT Save Copenhagen. I like his nickname. He's known as the Bosnian Bomber. He has good speed. He's very stubborn in the cage, but he has great will. 6 of his 11 wins are via KO. And I thought really hard on this one, but I think Nick Khan's going to get the victory by KO in round 3.
Very cool. I'm also going to go with Nick Khan. I think he's going to win via decision, though. All right, on to the next fight. We got Danny Roberts versus David Zawada, and this was the one that Alan Jouban was replaced by.
Yes. Danny Roberts is entering into the cage with 15 wins and 3 losses. His last fight was a win against Oliver Nkampu via KO due to punches in round 1. His UFC record's 4 wins, 2 losses. He's a one-time Fight of the Night Award winner against Dominic Steele. He fought Mike Perry early in his career and lost to him. He fights out of Team McHale. I thought he had a cool nickname. He's known as Hot Chocolate. He has good boxing, very very speedy and great athleticism, and he has a lot of heart in his fights. He is taking on David Zawada, whose record is 16 wins and 3 losses. His last fight is a win against Michael McCloskey via submission due to rear naked choke in round 3, and this is out of the KSW. He is making his UFC debut, as we mentioned earlier. He's replacing the injured Alan Jouban. He fights out of UFD Gym. 11 of his 16 wins are via KO. And I want to pick Danny Roberts by decision in this one.
All right, I'm going to go with Danny Roberts also. It's a short notice fight. I'm going to take him via TKO in round number 1, though. All right, on to the next fight. We got another good striker I like to watch. We got Nasrat Haqparast, I think that's how you say it, versus Mark DeCasey. Break it down, Maxwell.
Yes. Nasrat Haqparast, his record coming into Sunday's 8 wins and 2 losses. His last fight was a loss to Marcin Held via unanimous decision. He's 0-1 in the UFC. He fights out of King MMA. Nazrat has good striking to go along with his wrestling. He has very good ground and pound. All 8 wins in his career are via KO. He's taken on Mark DeCasey. His record is 12 wins. His last fight was a loss to Dan Hooker via submission due to guillotine choke in round 3. His UFC record is 3 wins, 2 losses. DeCasey is a one-time performance of a not winner against Tamar Packlin. He fights at an All-Star Training Center and after submission wrestling. He's a very good boxer and will stand the bang if needed, and he has great wrestling skills. He's known as the Bone Crusher. And I'm going to pick Mark DeCasey by second round TKO.
Alright, I like watching the Casey fight because he's really unorthodox and he throws a bunch of wild shit. The only thing I don't like about him is he doesn't have like knockout power. But I'm gonna pick him via decision. Alright, so the next fight that we have on the card is Marcin Tybura versus Stefan Struve.
Alright, Marcin Tybura is coming into Sunday with a record of 16 wins and 4 losses. His last fight was a loss to Derek Lewis via KO due to punches in the 3rd round. Marcin's UFC record is 3-3. He has a big win against Arlovsky in his career. Excuse me, guys. His biggest losses are with Mauricio Wardum and Derek Lewis. He fights out of Jackson Wink MMA. Marcin has very good submission skills to go along with a great ground and pound. He's also a one-time performance of a not winner against Victor Peste. He is taking on Stefan Skyscraper Struve. His record is 32 wins and 10 losses. His last fight was a loss to Andre Arlovsky via unanimous decision. He's 12-8 in his career in the UFC. His key wins in his career, I thought, was Antonio Silva, Minotauro Nogueira, Stipe Miocic, Pat Barry. His key losses, I thought, were to Junior Dos Santos, Roy Nelson, Travis Brown, Mark Hunt, Alexander Volkov, and Andre Arlovsky. He's a 2-time fight of a not winner, one coming against Stipe Miocic. He's a 3-time solo to not winner against LeVar Johnson, Chase Gormy, and Pat Barry. A 1-time performance of a not winner against Antonio Silva. 1-time KO of the night against Christian Moorcraft. He is the tallest fighter in the UFC at 7 foot tall. That's 6'11 and a half. Come on, guys. He's 7 foot. And he fights out of Team Schreiber. He is a great kickboxer with excellent submission skills, and his size is he ranges over everybody. 17 of his 28 wins are via submission, and I'm going to pick Stefan Struve via submission in the 2nd round.
All right, I like watching Struve fight. You know, it's kind of like a freak show. But when Marcin Tybura, when he fought Derek Lewis, I thought he was completely dominating Derek Lewis until Lewis just caught him in the 3rd round, and that's pretty impressive to out wrestle Derek Lewis and keep him on his back. And he definitely had him hurting there at the end, but Lewis, you know, he's just the Black Beast and took over in the 3rd round there. I'm gonna take Marcin Tybura via decision though. Alright, so the next fight on the card is Vitor Miranda versus Abu Azatar.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Vitor Miranda is coming in Sunday with a record of 13 wins and 6 losses. His last fight was a loss to Marvin Venatori via unanimous decision. His UFC record is 3-3. He's a 1-time performance of a not winner against Jake Collier. He lost in the Brazilian Tough to Antonio Shoeface Jr. He fights out of Team Nogueira. He has very good striking and excellent defense. His nickname is Lex Luthor. 9 of his 12 wins are via KO. He is taking on Abu Azatar. His record is 13 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. His last fight was a win against Michael Arnott via unanimous decision in the World Series of Fighting. Abu is making his debut. He fights out of the Elite Training Center. His nickname is the Gladiator. And Abu has excellent excellent straight punches, a lot of heart, and a lot of power. I'm going to take Vitor Miranda via KO in round 1.
Awesome. I'm gonna go with Abu on this fight. I think that he's gonna sink it on over into the third round and get the KO win. So I'm picking Abu Azatar via KO in round 3. The next one, we got the heavy hitters. I'm excited about this fight. We got Glover Teixeira versus Corey Anderson. And you know what's crazy about Glover Teixeira? He wanted to stand and bang with all these fighters for the last couple of years. But in the last fight, you seen him take a guy down to the ground and use his jiu-jitsu. And he is a legit jiu-jitsu practitioner. Break it down for me, Maxwell.
Alright, Glover Teixeira is coming in Sunday with a record of 27 wins, 6 losses. His last fight was a win against Misha Karnova via TKO due to strikes in round 1. His UFC record is 10 wins, 4 losses. His key wins in his career is Rashad Evans, OSP, Ron Bader, Rampage Jackson. Some of his losses I thought was John Jones, Philip Davis, Anthony Johnson, and Alexander Gustafsson. Glover is a 2-time Fight of the Night winner, one coming against OSP. 1-time Sub of the Night winner against James Tihan. 1-time Performance of the Night winner against Rashad Evans. 1-time KO of the Night winner against Ryan Bader. He fights out of Teixeira MMA and Fitness. Glover is very good striking with excellent jiu-jitsu skills, like my partner just mentioned. 17 of his 27 wins are via KO. He's taken on Corey Anderson, whose record is 11 wins and 4 losses. His last fight was a win against Pat Cummins via unanimous decision. Corey Anderson's record is in the UFC is 7-4. Some of his key losses I thought in his career was the OSP, Jimmy Manoa, and Mauricio Rua. He's a 1-time Performance of the Night winner. He fights out of the Kennel Fight Club. Corey's a very good wrestler, and 6 out of his 10 wins are via decision. And I think Glover's going to get the best of him. I think he's going to just demolish Corey Anderson. And I'm going to get Glover Teixeira via second round KO.
Alright, that's a good pick. I'm also going with Glover. If Glover didn't have such good jiu-jitsu, I would say that Corey could dominate him. But his game usually is to take you to the ground, pound you out, and try to choke you out. I just don't think he can do that against Glover. I think Glover's going to catch him in round number 2, also KO. Alright, on to the next fight. We've got Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Anthony Lionheart Smith. I think that's right, ain't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this fight.
And this is the main event of the evening. We got Mauricio, who was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame with this fight against Dan Henderson. He's coming into the UFC with a record of 25 wins and 10 losses. His last fight was a win against Gian Vellante via TKO due to punches in round 3. His UFC record's 8-8. He's a 4-time Fight of the Night winner against Rodrigo Nogueira and Mark Coleman. He is a 3-time KO of the Night winner against James Tihan, Lyoto Machida, and Chuck Liddell. Mauricio's on a 3-fight win streak. Some of his key wins I thought in his career were the Mark Coleman, Chuck Liddell, Lyoto Machida, and Forrest Griffin. Key losses was his first time against Forrest Griffin, Lyoto Machida, John Jones. He's never beat Dan Henderson. He's got 2 losses against him. Chael Sonnen, Alexander Gustafsson, and OSP. Rua, he fights out of Universidad de La Tuque. He's a very aggressive. He's very aggressive. He's excellent in his Muay Thai and his Jiu-Jitsu, and he's very strong. And 20 of his 25 wins are via KO. He's taking on Anthony Lionheart Smith, who's coming into the cage with a record of 29 wins, 13 losses. His last fight was a win against Rashad Evans via KO due to knees and punches in round 1. His UFC record 6-2. He's a one-time Fight of the Night winner, a 1-time Performance of the Night winner against Elvis Matapika. I can't say his last name. He fights out of disorderly conduct. He has great stand-up with awesome jiu-jitsu. He's a very young talent and a future contender for a title, I think, in my opinion. He has 15 wins via KO, and the rest are via is in 11 of the wins are via submission. I went back and forth, but my heart's going with the old Wally vet and Shogun Rua. I think he's going to get him in the third round via KO.
Well, I think Anthony Smith has been there for a while. When he was at middleweight, I think he cut a little too much weight, and I think the UFC's finally got him where he needs to be. And I think at 205 pounds, Anthony Smith will be a contender, and I'm taking him via KO in round one. I know that's kind of crazy for a pick there, especially Shogun as tough as he is, but man, he's on a three. He's got the longest winning streak in the light heavyweight division. Who isn't named champion right now? So, but I think Anthony Smith. I don't really think it's an upset either. After what we've seen, I mean, he had his back against the cage and knocked Rashad out like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of that had to do with Rashad. You know, it's time for him to tag out. But I believe in Anthony Smith. So that's our picks for this Sunday's UFC Fight Night on Fox Sports 1. And Max, you got anything else to add?
Nah, just looking for another good weekend to fight.
All right, guys. I'm excited about it too. It's kind of a bummer to me when they're on Sunday because I have to work on Monday, so I might not get to catch the main event, depending on what time it starts. Do you know what time it starts, Maxwell? Is it an early card?
I think it's a early afternoon card.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. Like if it starts around
think
like
the main
12 or
event.
1, I'll be stoked.
I think the main card starts at like 2.
So I don't really, I'm not mad at those kind of fight cards as long as they're like midday. Those are pretty great. But when you have to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the fucking morning, it's not really worth it. It kind of sucks. I did that for the last one that was on. Was it not on Sunday or was it Saturday morning? It was Saturday morning.
It was a Saturday morning.
Yeah. So that one kind of sucked. But midday on Sunday, that's awesome. That's like watching football, you know. So. Anyways, guys, we appreciate you tuning in for our prediction show for this week. Next week's a big one, right?
That it? I believe so.
Is that not the
Gaethje and Poirier and somebody, I think. I ain't looking at the card right now.
Yeah, I think it's July 28th is the Poirier and Alvarez fight, and it's a free fight also. Yeah. Is Gaethje fighting on that card too?
I don't think so. I want to miss.
Gaethje's headlining August 8th, I think. Now, I'm not 100% sure. But, guys, you get the point. You get the flavor. We are MMA Math. We appreciate everybody for subscribing, everybody for commenting on the videos. And I'll see you in just a minute. I'm fixing to do my ranked feature fights of the day. Maybe I can call Maxwell into joining me for that. See you guys later. Thanks for joining us.